Japanese traditional events. I am Yuchin. This time, I would like to talk about plum blossom viewing. Japanese people like viewing plum blossoms as well as viewing cherry blossoms. Plum blossoms are the sign of spring, so they brighten people's heart. People's heart become filled with joy when they find a bud of the plum blossom. However, the wind is still cold even if plum blossoms start blooming. Spring is only on the verge of the beginning. The bush warbler sings on the twig of the plum tree to tell people the arrival of spring. Then, plum blossoms develop blooming gradually and come into full bloom. It is still a little bit chilly to see plum blossoms outdoors for a long time. Because the sun is not so bright and the weather is not so warm. In addition, plum blossoms are modest compared to cherry blossoms. Plum blossoms are not fitting for lively place. People view plum blossoms quietly. By the way, the time when plum blossoms begin to bloom is around Satuban. So, I think, it may better to explain Satuban. Satuban is the day before the beginning of spring according the lunar calendar. On this day, usually February 2nd or 3rd, people in Japan do something like an exorcism. Bean scattering ceremonies are held so as to expel Oni and invite Fuku. Oni is the symbol of the evil, and Fuku is the symbol of good fortune. People shout, "Out with Oni, in with Fuku," while they are scattering beans. This event is held not only in homes but also in shrines or temples. Therefore both Satuban and plum blossoms signify the coming of spring together. I would like to get the story back to the plum blossom. Plum blossoms cannot be seen as frequently as cherry blossoms are. Perhaps you may see plum blossoms at private homes, in landscape gardens, or in shrines. If you visit the shrines to the Tenjin in early spring, you can easily find plum blossoms. These shrines are called Tenjin-sama in Japanese, and also known as Tenmengu. The deity enshrined in a Tenjin shrine is Sugawara no Mishizane, who was an excellent scholar, poet, high-ranking officer in the Heian period. Sugawara no Mishizane is closely related to the plum blossom. I would like to talk about details of him later. By the way, some landscape gardens are famous for plum blossoms. One of them is Kairaku-en, located in Mito in Ibaragi Prefecture. The famous Plum Tree Festival is held in Kairaku-en from mid-February through late March when the plum blossoms are in full bloom. As I mentioned before, Sugawara no Mishizane is the deity of a Tenjin shrine. He was an efficient high-ranking statesman during the reign of Emperor Uda, Emperor Daigo. Emperor deeply trusted him, and entrusted everything to him. At that time, the Fujiwara clan had held power. Fujiwara no Tokahiro was afraid that Sugawara no Mishizane might take the helm of administrative power of the imperial court. So, he accused Sugawara no Mishizane of planning rebellion. After then, Sugawara no Mishizane was demoted from the high-ranking officer in the imperial court to the deputy administrator of Dazaifu. He was transferred from Kyoto to Dazaifu. Dazaifu was the regional government located in Tikuzen Province, now Fukuoka Prefecture. On the last time when leaving his residence, Sugawara no Mishizane made a poem. Kochi Fukaba Nyokoseo Wumenahana Arujinashito Haruna Wasareso. What these verses are translated in English are follows. When the breeze start blowing, send me your sweet scent, plum blossom. Even if your master is not there, do not forget spring. Kochi Fukaba literally means, when the wind from the east start blowing. Why is the east? Because Kyoto is located in the eastward of Dazaifu. The breeze in spring usually starts blowing from the east to the west, so the first line means, when the breeze starts blowing. Nyokoseo, nioi, means fragrance or sweet scent. Okoseo is the Japanese archaic word, which means send in English, so second line means, send me your sweet scent, plum blossom. The third line and the fourth line can be literally translated into English without any interpretation. 2 years later, after arriving Dazaifu, Sugawara no Mishizane died in despair. After his death, many disasters happened. Drought, epidemic, flood, rainstorm, in addition to those disasters, the imperial palace in Kyoto was hit by lightning. People considered these misfortunes are attributed to his grudge. So, he was enshrined in a shrine. People thought that it could ease his spirit. A shrine is called Tenjin-sama, or Tenmengu. So, both plum blossoms and Tenjin-sama, or Tenmengu, have much to do with Sugawara no Mishizane. That is the reason plum blossoms are frequently seen in Tenjin-sama, or Tenmengu, in spring. Now, there are many Tenmengu shrines in Japan. The Plum Tree Festival is held in Tenmengu everywhere all over Japan. Some famous Tenmengu shrines are Kitano Tenmengu in Kyoto, Dazaifu Tenmengu in Fukuoka, Osaka Tenmengu in Osaka. Tenjin Matsuri, held in Osaka Tenmengu in July, is one of the 3 great festivals in Japan, along with Gion Matsuri in Kyoto and Kanda Matsuri in Tokyo. On the evening of the 25th of July, the famous Funitogyo is held. In Funitogyo, the spirit of the deity crosses the river, and also fireworks are displayed. This festival attracts many spectators. Sugawara no Mishizane was an excellent scholar. Therefore, Tenjin-sama is the deity of learning. Some students preparing for entrance examinations visit Tenjin-sama praying for their success in examination. They buy Emma, which is a picture tablet. That's it for today. Japanese traditional events vary according to the season or the region. I would like to continue to introduce various events. I am looking forward to seeing you again. Bye. If you think good, please evaluate high rating. Please put your registration on my account.